welcome everyone. Thank you so much. My name is Jesse. If you don't know, thank you so much for tuning in. It's so great to have you tuning in and doing church with us this morning. And right now, I get to chat with Rob, and he's going to tell you a little about himself. But right now, Rob he's one of the nominees pending ratification at our AGM to be coming on to our board at Redwood. And so, Rob, why don't you I already said your name, Rob, but why don't you introduce yourself, let us know a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm Rob Freeman, and some may recognize me from a number of years ago when I interned under Nathan Barnes and Jared Zeroth.
The good old days.
Yeah, good times. Remember taking a scooter off the stage and breaking it in half. I met a girl there and got married, and after that we took off to Tyndale Seminary in Toronto and got a job at an Alliance Church in Winnipeg for 3 years as a youth pastor. And then came back to Thunder Bay and served for 2.5 years at another church in town as a youth pastor. And then for 8 months as an interim pastor at another church. And after that, I started with UCB Radio, where I've been for just about 5 years now. And we live not too far from Redwood, on Pineview Bay. A nice community here. And I enjoy handyman kind of stuff, like exercising. Like disc golf, even though my shoulder sometimes blows out trying to play it. Keep going back anyway.
Good.
That's me.
Cool. That's awesome.
I got 3 kids. I got 3 kids now. Yeah.
3 kids. Yes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, Melissa, 3 kids. Yeah.
Nice. I just joined the 3 kid club, so you're going to have to give me all the pointers. You're a couple years ahead of me. What excites you right now, Rob, about being at Redwood? I know obviously like right now, this is kind of a crazy time in our world, but like, I know we've had a couple conversations about Redwood and you've been involved with some of the Kidsman stuff in the last little bit. You can mention that if you want, but what are some of the things that like really excite you about what's going on at Redwood?
Sure. I'm really excited about being part of Redwood right now because it's a crazy time. I don't know why, but somehow I get energized by that. It's like it's an extra challenge, and I guess you have more latitude to make mistakes when it's a new challenge that no one's tried before. Somehow that's freeing and it's kind of fun. And certainly the stuff that I'm doing with the Kidsmen, I love how it's a new adventure as well, trying to see how we can best support parents and get them engaged, and feel affirmed in their role as primary spiritual leaders for their children, and see how the church can be the best support we can for that. And also this new adventure with men's ministry, and just as we're launching, we're in this COVID thing, and so we're having to see, okay, what does this look like using online stuff? And so yeah, I'm really pumped about the adventures that we're having. And just how solid of a community it is, just wanting to support people and trying new things and seeing how we can embody the gospel in our communities, including everything from the spiritual dynamics of the health of our souls, our connection with our Savior, and our hope in eternity, to how the gospel really transforms how we live and gives us even so many greater resources for today, as we know that God, our Creator, knows how we need to operate and wants to give us every resource he can to be a blessing to us even now as well.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's so fun when so many of the things that we kind of think about what church is or what church does, they're also up in the air. But the things that like stay the same are like what God is doing and what he wants to do in our lives. And, it's always been about God sending Jesus for us to save us. And that doesn't change if we're in the building or out of the building or as we go through all this big transition. And so it's really cool. And you get to be, on a board level. What excites you about like being on a board seat in this time? And I know you touched on that a little bit, but where you get to sort of speak in at a really high level some of the goals of where Redwood's going.
Right. When I was first asked if I would consider being nominated to the board, honestly, I had never really thought about it before. I just kind of imagined, here's my role, and just don't really play outside my sandbox and just stick to what I'm told to do, right? And
Crazy how God pulls us out of that sometimes, eh?
yeah, that's right.
Now you're gonna get out of the sandbox.
It's like, all right, buddy, you've played there long enough. Try this out.
Mm-hmm.
So what excites me about that is I know that the role of a board can be extremely vital to a church. I mean, it is very vital to a church, and you can have an incredible impact there. And I know it's going to challenge me to be more vigorous in my own walk with God, to not be quite so easy to slip taking my own prayer times and taking my own thoughtfulness in my own spiritual health, and not just gliding along, taking it easy, but like, wow, I need to make sure I'm connecting with God so that I'm helping lead our church properly. And I know I'm going to feel overwhelmed by it quite often, and I'm going to need to keep coming back to being encouraged by others and to letting God assure me that I don't have to run the universe. He's got that.
Yeah.
I just got to run me and be a good example, perhaps. So I'm just excited about whatever adventures ahead for us, and seeing how I can be part of that. And I'm certainly honored to be asked to serve in a way like that.
Yeah, well, it's been really cool. Even in the last 6 months, from my view, seeing the board has kind of really taken they're really attentive. They really want to be involved. They're praying with people after worship nights, and I've had it where in my own life, me and my wife, and where we said, hey, we need prayer for something, and we'll put it out to the board, and the board gathers after a service, and they're just like this is like spiritual elder kind of role. And just hearing you talk, I can hear your heart for that. I can hear how you're really excited to kind of play a part in that. Like, this is it's a significant role, being on the board. And I mean, from a staff level, I see the heavy lifting that the board does. I see the work that the board puts in of saying, hey, this is who we are at an organizational level, but also, in that spiritual development, elder guiding role. And I love that you have this heart for that, because it's so important. That's so important for us. It's so important for Redwood.
Yeah, I certainly have respect for the guys who fight through all the paper documentation to make sure that we're legally identified in a proper way that protects our membership and all the other good stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Good job, guys. I know it's not my key passion, but I mean, if I need to help a bit with that, sure.
Yeah, hey, we all bring something to the table, right? That's really, really cool, really exciting. It's been so great. I don't know, I'm really excited to have you hop on. Like I said, you've been around Redwood for a long time. What are some, if there's anything you want to let people know of before we head off here? I'm going to chat with Vanessa in a little bit, or maybe we'll hear from Vanessa next week. I don't know yet, actually. But is there anything else that you want to let Redwood know? What can we be doing right now for you? What's going on in your life?
Yeah. Well, for me, obviously, all the staff at Redwood as well, serving in a ministry role in a nonprofit here in town, the world's changing significantly. And just actually reading an article earlier today about how world shaking the current situation is for a lot of pastors. And I could see how not much of, probably about half of it applied to my situation, but I could see all of it applied for those serving on staff at Redwood. And I certainly want to make sure that as part of a board, we're being a good support to our pastoral staff through such a crazy time with needing to reinvent church. And it's obviously not reinventing what Jesus called us to be, but simply the practice of it in our current context, you know, wanting to make sure that we're supporting our pastoral staff. And for myself personally, I saw there's a number of those challenges that this article was talking about are also applicable to me. And I certainly would be very appreciative of the prayers of the congregation for me if I would be on the board. And obviously also for any other board members, that they'd be praying for the other board members as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much, Rob. And there's going to be a little bit more info about our AGM, what's happening near the end of June, about how you can get signed up, how you can come and attend. We'd love to have you there. That is really where you get to come and speak as like a really core collective of Redwood and speak into kind of what we do, how we do it, and hear where we're at. And so thank you so much, Rob, for joining us. So excited to continue the conversation, work with you a little bit more as we, figure out how we do church through this whole COVID thing. So thank you so much.
Sure, I'm honored. God bless you, man.